Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about C-sections, how to prepare for a C-section, how the C-section was, and how to recover quickly after a C-section. So I'm going to just take you over to the mirror. It's been 2 weeks now, so bear with me 2 seconds. So yeah, two weeks since my emergency C-section, and I'm just going to give you a bit of an update on my tummy. So if I just lift my top up here, so that's what I'm left with at the moment after 2 weeks. So you can still see there's a bit of a bump, but considering it was twins, my bump was probably more kind of like out here. And in terms of the incision, I won't actually show you the incision because it's down your kind of like near your pubic area, so nobody needs to be seeing that, do they? But in terms of the incision, because it was an emergency C-section, it is a little bit more jagged and a little bit more puckered than it would have been with a planned C-section, but it's healing so well, and it looks absolutely fine. And because of how low it is, no one's going to see it. So honestly, don't worry about the scar or the incision. It's really nothing to worry about. So we're going to go in the lounge now and talk a bit more about C-sections. Okay, so let's get chatting about the actual C-section itself. So prior to having a C-section, I was exercising quite a lot still. Even though I was pregnant with twins, I was still doing body pump, I was still going out for walks. Any type of exercise actually aids recovery because it gets more oxygen into your body. So I definitely think exercising has helped massively. Also nutrition. So because I eat really healthy, and I did throughout my pregnancy and I have done since I've got out of hospital, then I do believe that makes a big difference to recovery as well. So eat healthy and exercise prior and ideally after as well. With the exercising after, what I mean by that is everybody that's had a C-section or any bit of advice that you read, they'll all say move as quick as you can. So not as in move fast, but as in as soon after the C-section as you can physically move, do it. So I got out of bed once the epidural had obviously worn off, because you're numb from like the waist down during the operation. So once that had worn off, I got out of bed the next morning and had a shower. Just walked really slowly to the shower room, had a shower. I did feel a little bit funny, but that was more to do with the temperature change and like blood pressure. So got out of the shower, walked back to the bed, and then I do that a few times a day. Just walk to the toilet, walk back, walk to go and get my lunch, etc. So getting up and moving as much as you can after a C-section actually aids the recovery. So that's another top tip. I've written them all down on my phone to make sure I don't forget any. On the flip side of that, you do need to also get rest. So you've just had a major operation. It is important that you do get rest in between moving around. You're going to need to take iron tablets. After a C-section or any pregnancy, you've got quite low iron. One of the things that I experienced was quite a lot of breathlessness after the C-section. I constantly felt out of breath and I felt like I'd almost got like an elephant sat on my chest. This is normally down to lack of iron. If it's very serious and you're also experiencing tight chest pain, that could be more something like deep vein thrombosis, so you need to keep an eye on that. But on the whole, it's usually just a lack of iron, so I was taking iron tablets. Iron tablets are okay. I'm not really a massive fan of them because they can make you quite constipated, which is the last thing you want. Like, that feeling is horrible, especially when you've got a big open, you know, well, not open, but you have been opened, and you've got an incision down there. You don't want to be, you know, straining to go to the toilet. So instead of taking iron tablets, a lot of people take Spartone. And Spartone is liquid iron, and it's just easier to digest. So Spartone could be a little tip for you there. Get some of that. Make sure you've got lots of help after a C-section. You know, you're gonna have to have somebody do most of the changing. I could feed them, I could have them on me and feed them, so that was nice. I did change them the next day a few times, but on the whole you're not going to be able to do loads, so you are going to need help. Luckily Chris was allowed to stay in hospital with me, so he helped me the whole way through. The babies were with us, so he was in the room with me, the babies were in the room with me. so I got to see them all the time, but you are going to need help, maybe while you're in hospital, but also when you get out of hospital you might need help as well. Make sure you've got loads of big comfy pants. So I got the like £3 ones from Primark in a pack and got them in a huge size, well, huge for me so I don't want to offend anyone there, but yeah, I got them like a lot bigger than what I would normally wear. That was what I meant. So I got them in a bigger size, and they're really high-waisted, so they go right over your incision, and that means that they're a lot more comfortable to wear after a C-section. Same goes with clothes. One of the things I didn't do, because I wasn't expecting my waters to break on the Monday, I wasn't expecting to have an emergency C-section. I thought I was going to have one on the Wednesday rather than the Monday. I didn't have loads of clothes with me, and the only clothes I had with me were the clothes I was wearing throughout being pregnant, which were more like tight-fitted dresses that sort of showed your bump. After a C-section, the last thing you want to wear is a tight-fitted dress. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake on my part. So take something that's really baggy and really comfortable, or some leggings or something stretchy and high-waisted. That's really, really important. Also, I mentioned earlier about you know, constipation and stuff. A lot of people report after a C-section they get really, really bad trapped wind, and the trapped wind can get that bad from all like the gas and, you know, the anaesthetic in your stomach. It can travel up and really cause lots of pain in other areas like your shoulder. Some women describe it as worse than childbirth. So yeah, it's not nice. One of the things I did to combat that, I took some tablets called deflating, and I took them with me prior to going into hospital. They're in my hospital bag, so watch my hospital bag video and watch my birth journey video, because both of those might help you as well. But when you've got lots of trapped wind and you can't get rid of it, it is horrible. So the deflating will deflate all of that very, very discreetly. It's got like peppermint and stuff in it. So peppermint tea isn't good if you're going to breastfeed. It can affect your milk supply. So if you get some deflating, honestly, I cannot recommend that enough. And then another thing that I think is vital is some sort of laxative. So what you need to double check is which ones are safe if you're going to breastfeed. The one I got was a liquid one, and I can't remember the name of it now. I'll write it at the bottom of the video, but it begins with L, I think. Anyway, it's a liquid one that the midwife said was completely safe to use. So you just take a cap of that, and yeah, you're not going to have a problem. Because the last thing you want to do is, if you're constipated, is to feel like you have to strain to go to the toilet when you've got this cut. You'll be too nervous and it'll feel horrible. So yeah, definitely take some laxatives. You're going to struggle to cough, because every time you cough you're going to be worried about down there. So make sure you're drinking loads and loads of squash, loads of fluids, to make sure that you're all lubricated, so you don't feel the need to cough a lot, because you won't want to be coughing. And then also, if you're going to sneeze, because when you sneeze you're like, oh, you know, you get really scared that you're going to hurt your wound. Make sure you hold your nose when you sneeze. Take your painkillers. Don't be a hero, don't be a martyr. Don't think, oh no, I'm fine, I don't need painkillers. You know, they give you them for a reason, and they tend to bring around 2 paracetamol and 1 ibuprofen. And if you want to keep up with that when you get out for pain relief, then you can. If your pain is more serious, then they'll give you other types of drugs, but on the whole it's just paracetamol and ibuprofen. So take those. Don't lift anything heavier than the actual baby. So don't be going around lifting. 6 weeks is the normal recovery after a C-section, like a full recovery in terms of when you can drive, when you can fully kind of like exercise again. You'll need to go to your GP, get loads of tests and get the go-ahead for all of that. Some people I know have driven after 4 weeks and they've got the all clear. I definitely will be. I've been up about, I've been shopping, I've been to Banbury, Solihull, Leamington, Warwick, Stratford. I've been all over the place. I feel fine, like physically I'm pretty much back to before I had the babies, and that's just in 2 weeks. So I feel absolutely fine. But everybody's going to be different, all your recoveries are going to be different, but don't lift anything heavier than a baby. When you get out, what I would strongly recommend is make sure, and this is if you've had a C-section or not, make sure you've got some changing stuff downstairs, so you're not having to constantly go upstairs while carrying a baby. So downstairs we have a ottoman, and inside the ottoman we've got like a changing mat, we've got nappies, we've got wipes, we've got everything, you know, cotton wool for the water to wipe them with. We've got a coffee table here, and we just put them on the coffee table with the changing mat and get them changed downstairs when we need to, and that just makes everything a bit easier and takes the pressure off having to keep going up down. With twins, obviously you're going to be up down quite a lot. So yeah, strongly recommend doing that as well. Getting out of bed can be a bit tricky. So after a C-section, you don't want to be using all of your stomach muscles a lot. So when you get out of bed, make sure you kind of like swivel yourself around, and then when you're in hospital, the bed will go up and down. So lower the bed as low as you can, swivel your legs around, and then very gently get out of bed. When I lie down at home, I had loads of like high cushions behind me. Chris, you can't have someone pull you because that's going to hurt you. So Chris would just very gently, just, you know, push me very, 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 very gently so I could lean up without having to use my stomach muscles. Or I would like grab the headboard and sort of like push myself slowly off the headboard. But yeah, just be careful you're not using too much of your abdominal muscles. And I'm just going to check if I've got anything else to tell you. Get help. I think I've said get help, haven't I? I think that's everything. But obviously I'm not medically trained. This is just from my personal experience. I love to help people, which is why I've got this channel. I put on my Instagram what sort of videos did you want me to make, and a lot of people said about this one. So that's what I've done. One of the little tip actually, which I think is quite a big one, and I'm so glad I've just remembered it, arnica. Arnica is more of like a natural healing remedy. So if you've ever had bad bruises, you might have used arnica gel or cream, or you might have taken the tablets. I took the tablets in with me, and every couple of hours I'd have 2 pellets of arnica, and I definitely think that aided recovery as well. So get yourself some arnica. You can buy it from Boots, you can get it from absolutely anywhere. So let's just check. I've literally gone through it all. Oh yeah, and I've got 2 more things actually. Maybe subconsciously I was trying to forget these. No, one of them is sex. So with sex, a vaginal birth apparently is less painful than a C-section birth for sex, which I'm quite surprised about. I thought it would have been the other way around. But apparently for like 16 months afterwards, you have to be quite careful. It's not going to be the first thing on your mind after you've had a baby or 2 babies. You know, having sex is not going to be your priority, I wouldn't have thought. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. But again, I guess really just go at your own pace, take it easy. Don't be throwing each other around the bedroom after a C-section. Oh dear. I mean, yeah, I very highly doubt that you're going to be wanting to do that anyway. And then the final one is a little bit different. It's not a physical one, it's a mental one. So also take care of your mental health before and after a C-section. Have your birth plan, that's cool, you know, do whatever you want to do, but just maybe just mentally prepare a little bit for having surgery, because I didn't want to. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know I wanted a natural birth, but it didn't happen that way. So just mentally just prepare a little bit for it. Afterwards, make sure you don't feel like you're a failure. Make sure you don't feel disappointed. You know, your babies are healthy, they've come out, they're fine, they had to come out one way or another. So don't beat yourself up thinking, oh, you know, I've not had a natural birth now, it's not a proper birth, or all those things that you hear people say to themselves. You wouldn't dream of saying that to your friend or a family member. You wouldn't say, oh, well, you didn't do a proper birth because you've had a C-section. You wouldn't dream of it, or you got off lightly, or at least it came out the sunroof, or whatever. You know, it's still a massive traumatic thing to go through, is having surgery. So don't feel bad, or, you know, try not to feel any sort of guilt or disappointment. It's fine, they're here. Be happy that you've got your baby or babies. So that's everything really that I wanted to share about prior to C-section, during C-section and after C-section. So I'll just keep going as I am, keep looking after myself. I've had baths. The stitches are dissolvable, so you haven't got to worry about keeping them clean or whatever. You don't even touch your wound. So as soon as the plaster comes off it, which didn't hurt at all, she was like making out it was going to absolutely kill, and bless her, like mentally preparing me for it. She pulled it off. I was like, that didn't hurt at all. So don't worry too much about that bit. But once it's off, that's it. You just leave it. You let the air get to it and you just leave it. Once it's fully healed, if you want to start putting things on it, like, I don't know, like all the different oils, bio oil or whatever, then yeah, I guess you can do that. But ideally, just leave it. So that's it. So I hope this video has helped you if you're pregnant and you're worried about a C-section, or if you've had a C-section, or if you know you're having a C-section, because some of them are elective. Then hopefully this has given you some ideas, some reassurance, some hints and tips, and a bit of more of a positive spin on it, because originally it was quite a negative thing for me, and now I'm like, whatever, it was fine, it was fine. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up, or share it with anybody that you know that is having a C-section, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you all for your messages and for your cards and your presents and all the things that I've had, and your support. Thank you so much from me, Chris, Lawson and Grayson. Have a good day.